enjoy the fun, chatting with interesting people while styling while we run. It's Kickin in Crocs. We're kicking in Crocs.
Hello, and welcome to Kickin' and Crocs, the podcast. We talk about martial arts stuff, geeky stuff. And yesterday was Dave's birthday.
You know, we put in martial arts stuff, geeky stuff, and all sorts of stuff, but we never once say Crocs in it.
That's all sorts of stuff.
We take your, yeah, I guess.
Happy birthday, Dave!
Oh, thank you.
Dave, a year younger again, sir.
Dave is a whole year younger now.
Shout out to Lauren who forgot my birthday. No, I ragged on her all day.
He sent me a Snapchat. I was like, you were just on the podcast last week where we talked about it being his birthday this upcoming week.
What I did forget
day.
was the morning.
You
Happy birthday
totally
with
forgot.
the kids.
No, with
I
the kids.
forgot.
How you know
You were like, hey, can we do the podcast at my house this
Yeah, can we do the podcast at my house on Friday?
It's Dave's birthday. You're like, oh.
Yeah, no, I forgot because
Yeah,
I have
you
an
didn't get
alarm.
that Facebook
I have an
notification yet.
alarm. No,
Yeah.
I have an
Okay,
alarm. I have you on my calendar. I'll show you.
No, I have most.
Yeah, me too.
You know
I
what
have you on
it
my
is?
calendar.
You're not on his little keychain
I
hanging
know,
calendar
that's
thing.
the only
That's
thing
what it is. That's the
That
reason why.
one is. I told Nicole we need one just for friends. Like we need one.
Yeah.
Oh, I consider you guys family, but that's
Yes, it's fine. We don't have to be in the family
If
birthday
I
calendar. It's fine.
It's all right.
You guys,
It's
on
okay.
It would be great.
It's okay.
work
I
on
guess
it.
Steve and I just think about you differently. That's all.
It's all right. It's fine.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's
We
okay.
get it.
I'm okay with that.
See what happens when it's his birthday.
I'm okay with you guys.
Oh
thinking
yeah,
about
it was your birthday
Yes.
on Friday.
Did
That's
you have
why
a
we
nice, relaxing
we were
birthday?
filming
I
this
did. I
a day later
I did. We
Did you get Crocs?
for himself.
So I bought myself some early birthday Crocs. I treated myself the day they launched. I got those out. We did an unboxing video for it. So
If you guys didn't see
So-
it, his son was a part of it. So you should
yes,
watch it.
let me tell you a
So
story
cute
about
in
that.
that
Big part of it.
Let me tell you a story about that.
He gonna
So-
tell you a story.
So,
Check the camera angle.
So
while he's telling you a
Kelsey
story.
took off from work my birthday. So we were gonna go we took Declan to the park. We were like, let's go to the park. It's a nice day. Let's go hang out at the park. And then, so we're getting ready to go to the park. I sit down at the bench at my door where I put my shoes on, and I go to put on. I'm like, perfect. I pick out the right outfit to wear my my
his
Crocs
trail
with,
breaks.
and it is the Trail Break 2s, which are perfect for parks because
Okay.
they're made for like
Yeah, a little trail
activity.
Yeah, trails.
outdoor shoes. Yeah.
I go to put it on, and Declan launches a fit, grabs a shoe, pushes it back onto the box. I'm like, no, Dad's gonna wear these, so I gotta put on these. He pushes it back on the thing, and he grabs my hand, and he pulls because whenever he wants to take you someplace, he grabs his hand and he pulls. So he pulls and he walks me all the way to the back room
Okay.
where the Crocs rack is.
Yeah.
My the vault of Crocs.
Okay.
And he picks out what Crocs he wants me to wear. And he's having nothing. Any other shoe? I'm like, what about this one? No. He would not let me wear my new pair of Crocs.
So what do you want you wearing
I
that
had
day?
to wear white. My white. They're not called marshmallows. They're
Thank you, Shadow Half.
Awesome job, Kels. They're marshmallows.
oh man, what are they called?
But they look
I'm
fuzzy.
blanking for a minute.
You're
Give me a
blanking
second.
on what
They look like
Crocs
clouds.
you had?
They're
The
not-
Pillsbury Doughboy Crocs.
It'll come to me. But so
They're obviously Kelsey's favorite Crocs.
Oh, they're
I
such
could
a
tell.
now to my son's
When-
credit, they matched my outfit perfectly. But
Oh well, fantastic. At least that was good enough.
yeah,
That's in the DNA.
he would not let me wear, and he was so specific on it.
I love that. That's freaking
Yeah, and
hilarious.
I was like, all right, I
So-
guess I'm not wearing these.
So him in command begins now. It's excellent.
Yeah, he's so
Fantastic.
particular with shoes. It's ridiculous.
I don't know where he gets it from.
Like ridiculous.
Being particular on things.
He has the exact same.
no way,
So
no
he has
way.
the
Who?
exact same.
Audio
pair of,
listeners, I can't point heavier to Dave.
he wears these black.
sarcasm is
he
real.
wears these black shoes, like they're like
little slip-ons, right?
barefoot
Yeah.
slip-on type shoes. So we have them the exact same shoe, identical, same company, same size, exactly the same. One pair in black, one pair in gray. Will not wear the gray ones.
No, he's not having it.
No.
He's like, gray doesn't match anything. I'm wearing black.
It's like an insult. He's like insulted. Get these out of here. Give me
He's
the
like,
black ones.
He's like, Dad, do I look like an amateur?
He won't. He
over
won't
here?"
do it.
He gets all Italian. Am I an amateur over here? Am I going to make you laugh with this joke? I get to dress like a clown?
What am I a
Do
joke?
I
Am
look
I
like a
here
clown? Do
to
I have a red
amuse
nose? Do I
you?
honk it?
So yeah. So
That's
that was my
funny.
birthday. We went to the first park we tried to go to in Red Bank.
Oh.
Manasquan. Sorry,
Close enough.
Manasquan. So anytime I get something wrong,
Same state.
you may hear a shadow half shout. So
You're
shut
not gonna
that.
hear her.
She doesn't have a mic, so they
But
can't
we'll
hear
repeat it.
But we'll repeat
So
it,
we
yeah.
went to Manasquan, this park that Kelsey took that one to before. And she's like, oh, it's a really cool park. We'll go. So we went to go. And, of
Yeah.
course, they're spraying pesticides that day.
Oh,
They have a big sign that it's shut down. So we ended up in Spring Lake.
He doesn't like the Purple Park right around the corner? Or he just wanted to go somewhere different?
Some are different. We usually go to the one with the skate park over here. But we ended up in Spring Lake. And that park was cool. That park was an old school. I said it when we were on the equipment. I'm like, whoa, this is like an old school break your arm style park. And the one mom that was with their little daughter, she's like, I know, and that's why I'm so anxious when I'm
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
You ever take him to the park? Wasn't there a park where we used to have the annual picnic? What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's
I
it
understand
called again,
about
that place? What is it?
Yeah, that is Windward Beach.
Windward Beach. Yeah. What was the other place? No, there was two places. Wasn't there another one?
Well, Camp Zender, but that's a
Zender,
private
that's what I
camp.
meant. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's a
okay,
YMCA
okay,
type
okay.
deal.
No, we did a. This was like I say it was like an old school break your arm style park because they had these big tunnels that go up and down.
Yeah.
And like it's just a hole. So if Declan crawls in, he's dropping. So you have to know. You have to be old enough to use like the handholds, and then they
Exactly.
had
Goofy that
they
up.
had the a wall on one side. So like picture like an alley. So wall one side, wall other side, no bottom. In the sky, so you just had to grab the holes on each side and work your way across.
Definitely not for a
But there
kid.
was nothing
Not
underneath.
letting him go
dirt.
that way, basically.
Right, exactly. So I was like, "This is an old school like break your arm park." I'm in.
This is. I hope you make it home.
He goes, I'm in.
You better have an older kid to drag you back home. when you get
Go.
No, my wife is way worse than me when it comes to things like that.
As
if you
far
saw,
as
she put up a
just
post.
go
She
whatever.
put up a post, and you probably see there's one with Declan going down the big kid slide. Mm-hmm. She just like, yeah, go, you'll be fine. He bounced one time at a different park we went to, and like bounced and rolled and like hit the dirt at the bottom. I was like, is he still alive?
This is the best age.
Yeah,
They still
well,
bounce.
that's
They
the
ba-
thing.
They,
He's
they
got
still
tough
bounce
bounce.
soft enough.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can still bounce.
You
for the
gotta
most
toughen
part.
them
For the
up.
most
You know?
part.
You gotta
So,
build up
so
the
you
character.
asked me if I got any Crocs. And that was a funny story because my mom, she gives me a card today. We were at the dinner with my parents today, and it's money with a picture of a Croc in it. And she's like, I've been trying to get these Crocs since whatever. And they're always out of stock in your size and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, it's the wrong color.
Thank
Let me
God,
show you.
right?
Let me show you the ones I like. She's like, no, you texted me. So like,
Tell me you brought up the text. Did
so
you read
she
the
brought up
text?
the text to try and prove me wrong.
Okay.
And I'm like, read the color, Mom. Because when you send a link
Oh, she saw
on
the
your
picture,
iPhone,
but
when you send
not
a
the
link on your
color.
iPhone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It sends whatever.
the standard
It
thing
sends a
is,
standard whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, read the color, Mom. So she reads it out loud. She's like, yeah. So I was like, what's the color say here, Mom?
Underneath
And
it.
it's the exact same thing. She just started bust out laughing.
Well, that's the thing because it'll do
Please.
the promotional picture.
Please tell me that color was in stock, though.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Here's the
100%.
thing. Here's the thing. He's still getting it. So what?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it's just funny because she was like so dead set. It's like, no, you told me. Look, I have it right here. I have it in text message.
It's like, no, Mom,
like,
you have the
uh-huh.
stock photo in text
And
message.
read what I
read what I
said.
said under it. Yeah, it's funny because I'll tell.
I love when they do. I just love those moments where somebody reads something out loud and like,
But did I? So I
listen
don't
to
think
what
I
you
told
just
you.
said.
So this is this is years ago. Luca was going for a test and he was working on a kata and he kept messing up this part. So I'm like, you need to do it this way. And he was starting to get snippy with me. I said, you're messing that
Doing it
part
wrong.
up. It's okay. You need to do it this way. So now the next time I just turn my phone and I start recording him. He doesn't know it. And as soon as he hits that spot, he messes it up. And I was like, oh, and I say it. And he turns around, oh, I'm not messing. No, now you're going to shut your mouth. And you can correct yourself. And he looks at it, he goes, yeah. And goes back in. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you because Lord knows I can. And I will win because it's default. I said, but I don't need to. This is the third time I'm making that correction. And you're just refusing to see that you're making that mistake.
So after you
You
failed this
teach
on your
yourself.
test, yeah,
Exactly.
I'm going to show this video to your teacher. You mess
Yeah.
with Dave and mess with
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We've been on this one. But he didn't know what to do anymore. I'm like, you just
I
corrected
do,
yourself.
I do like filming yourself sometimes when you're doing martial arts because sometimes you don't you think you're doing it one way and then like
When
you
you look
see
back
the
at the
video
film,
and
you
you're
see,
like,
I thought I had a great video for you guys. I was hoping I had a great video for you guys because I found years ago when I first graduated college, I worked at a life insurance company called American Income Life. And they, for their sales training, they videoed you. And I found a VHS of the recordings of the training videos. And I was like, oh my God, please say I'm on this video. Please say I'm on this video. And it wasn't me. It was all like my counterparts. But for some reason, I think it was like a watch this and then
Because
come and do it.
he probably did have him and he burned it like back then.
I would have loved it because I think it would have been hilarious because it was just so like, here's the pitch book and go through the entire pitch book. And you're there like 35 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't have bought it. And I was selling it.
It's weird when people, when you see things like back, like earlier on in your life and you're like, oh. So Mike Rifkin.
What's that air conditioning place that always
Sent
overcharges?
me-
The really high end
sent
AC
me,
place.
I wouldn't know.
Yes, you know, Dave.
So he sent me a happy birthday.
What's the high end?
Air conditioning?
Air conditioning and heating. You know, they always drive around their trucks. They're really expensive.
Oh.
Yes, you do. Come on. He knows. I'll have to look it up. I'll find it. But
AJ Perry?
Yes, that's it. There it
Is
is.
it
Yes,
AJ Perry?
AJ Perry. Yeah, so there it is. So they go around and they do this crazy pitch, and they bring out like samples of the AC unit. They talk about like the different gauges
you know
of
what
the,
I mean?
and they're like, oh yeah, the starting price is $15,000. I'm like. And I was in my townhouse at the time, Steve. So I'm like, what am I heating and ACing the entire row of condos? I'm like, this little thing, a $50,000 unit, I could do a 3-story house with this thing. And I'm looking at the guy. I got very Italian that day, and I was like, there is no
that day.
way
Just that day.
Never
there's
ever
no way we're even starting the conversation at $15,000 for this tiny little place. I said, so let's go back to your car, come back out with a real conversation, and we'll talk about
It
it.
reminds me of like every kid
Get outta
at
here.
some point when I was a kid and then beyond. I don't know if they still exist, but did the whole Cutco thing. Like,
Yes.
I'm going to sell the Cutco knives.
Yep,
Like,
I had a
oh,
friend of mine who
you're
sold
gonna
them.
do
I had a
that?
friend of mine who
Okay.
sold them. I bought one knife off. I think it was. That was it. Yep.
I vividly remember that. Like
They
I
are
have- I
good
have-
knives though. They're just really expensive.
Sure, but
Well,
like
the thing is, you
go
pay
door to door.
You'd pay for the knife, right? And or the knife set or whatever. But then you get like a lifetime sharpening of the knives. So that's actually very expensive at some point. And you can send them, I think it was like quarterly, and they resharpen the knives, professionally sharpen the knives and send them back to you. I don't think they offer that anymore. You have to fix that hole in your chin. But I do, I know originally they did, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, like, oh, the sharpening's included. So you'll pay a lot of money, like say minimum $500 for a knife, at minimum $500. But
For
it's like
one.
sharp, yeah. But then sharpening for life of the knife, which you, again, you think it's not good, but as a restaurant owner, we had to
That's
get
kind of important.
in the restaurant, we had to get our knives sharpened. It was every 2 weeks we rotated new knives in, coming in from them professionally doing it, because you need it. Like you need to be able to just carve right through. You can't mess around.
No,
That's
yeah,
the
at a
one thing I do
restaurant,
miss is having it professionally. I still do it myself, but having it professionally done, I
I
have it on the counter.
hate sharpening knives.
Got to though.
I no, you
Yeah,
got
yeah,
no, but I just
all
hate
the
the
time.
sound. I
Especially if you're using the rod versus I have the hand one where you hold and you come into the three.
Yeah. I have
gauges.
that. That's what I have.
Yeah.
I remember my dad when I was a kid would do the stone with all the oils and sit there.
That's good though, but that's
Sunday
really,
night.
yeah.
Like every so often, it'd be like a Sunday night. We watching a TV show, and he'd be sitting on the floor in the living room with his little. He had this stone
Yeah.
with all the oils, and he'd sit there and
It's the best way to do it.
And I was like, oh god.
I never used the oils. I never tried that, but I heard it's great. I got the small stone for Luca for his knife, his pocket knife when he goes into the woods. Like it's a small stone where you can just shh and.
He's a Boy Scout. Nick just doesn't send him into the.
Yeah,
Here's your knife.
I
Go,
drop
boy.
him off in the woods and say,
Off to the
Siobhan,
woods.
I will see you in 2
If
days.
you make it back, you're still my son.
Yeah, you're still a Miancho. No, I haven't. He hasn't used the stone yet. I have to show him how to use it, but I did get it for him. So we'll get there. Yeah, I have to be careful with him because part of his Boy Scout uniform was always having the knife, and they did. I think I told you the
Always
story.
prepared. Yeah, no, you did.
Yeah. So
You always got to be prepared.
yeah, I think it's
Actually,
it's a
I
good
think we
move.
told that story in the podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Where we went to the airport. Yep, the air show. But so you're at dinner, wrong color shoes, but you
Well, no,
had
she
the
gave me a
right color.
card. She
Yeah,
gave
the
me a
card.
card. No, it was when we came back for a little bit of cake here. But I just thought it was funny because I was like,
Did your
pooping
dad
off.
like
He was Carrie's
one of
busy
these?
doing other
Oh
things.
well.
He's doing other things. He's the typical dad. Like I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know
whatever,
if he
whatever.
knows
So he's like,
what goes on. No, that's Nick. Eh?
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. What? So that's cool. So what else did you guys? You did the park, which is nice. That's some dinner already. Nice.
Yeah, that was it. And then we hung out last night, and then yeah, go to dinner today, and then that was about it.
Nice. That's it. Where'd you guys go today?
For dinner, Graziano's.
Never been there.
Graziano.
That was good.
Man,
Good.
cool.
Yeah.
Where is
Nick
that?
needs
Is
to
that
go
Brick?
there and tell them all
On
the things they're
88,
doing
yeah.
wrong.
Oh, nice.
Nick needs to go there and tell them all the things they're doing wrong. Did they offer you an espresso at the end of your
They
meal?
did, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, so that's one check box.
Oh,
off.
nice.
Absolutely.
After they were cleaning the
Did
dinner
they clean
off?
the
Yeah.
table
Correct.
before?
No,
putting
no,
dessert
no,
out?
no.
I like it already.
She had
We're so
come out
good.
as
So far,
as,
they're winning.
as she was taking the stuff away. She goes, "Can I get anybody an espresso?" What else
you
did
go.
she ask for, Kels? Do you remember?
Should I have?
Cappuccino.
You know.
Cappuccino,
So she was offering it.
espresso.
Okay. They were offering
I was
it.
like, we don't drink cappuccinos. What do I look like, a cappuccino drinker?
You could be.
I mean, with the hat.
Exactly.
I did have a hat on.
See?
Yeah. Now,
Nice.
yeah, it's always a good time. That we go there.
Small place?
Yeah, it's not big. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got to check it out.
Big
sometime.
portions.
Yeah, that's
Big-
cool.
big
That's cool.
portions.
Some of the restaurants, I feel like the portions are getting wildly big. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
They
really are, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
really
I
are.
go.
Wow.
I'm doing the old school. Like I'm going to take half of it home.
Yeah.
Because there's no way.
Oh yeah, we do
Oh,
that
every
too.
time. Every time I go out to
You have lunch for a week.
Well, I always consider that. Like if I'm going to pay $40 for this,
At the
like
very
for
least.
like me and Nicole.
gonna
Or
make 2
40,
meals
60,
instead of
80,
one.
whatever it is. Like, I understand sometimes we'll go to a fancy place. I'm
I
just
need
going
to
to
eat
throw the
for a
money
week.
away.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to just like a more standard place, if I'm not getting 2 meals out of that and I'm paying whatever
the
I'm
same
paying,
price,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
that's
not
not-
I'm not excited about it then.
Not
Like,
good.
why am I here?
Not good.
Yeah.
You know, but there are some fancy places. Oh my God, I just put in like cool places to eat in Jersey. There are some wild places that I want to try out. I think we should go check them out. But some of
Cooking
them
and
like
Crocs?
what?
Cooking and Crocs food reviews?
No, eating and whatever you want to call it.
Because we talked about cooking and Crocs before, so like we could make that kind of like a subsection.
I like it.
We
We
have
have
a
to think
lot
of,
of subsidiaries we're going to be doing there.
We just, I think we
We really got to keep doing martial
We
arts
just gotta-
stuff, though.
yeah, I know.
We got more
Unfortunately,
things to
we
do
can
there.
never get that scheduled.
we just kick the food.
Kick the waiter. This is too slow.
This food is awful.
Just I'll clean the table with a roundhouse kick. Like, I'm not eating
of
while this
food.
is on the table.
Speaking of food, I got a cupcake here.
So tell us a little bit about your cupcake you're about to eat.
So this is an Irish car bomb cupcake made by the Shadow Half Kelsey herself. It is not for children.
It is highly alcoholic.
A alcoholic cupcake here. So there's
And no, it's not baked off for the people that
no.
think, oh, it just
so
bakes off.
She
No.
does put what is it, Guinness into the batter? Yes.
Yes,
So
well, that
Guinness
bakes off.
into
but
the
then
batter.
there's-
That bakes off, but then she also put
She does stuff in the ganache.
puts,
and
It
the
didn't bake
frosting.
off.
stuff into the
Put-
ganache and
We're
the
not
icing.
giving out the recipe, right?
No. I said stuff. She also puts certain
It's a
things.
trademark
Well, you're
secret,
not
put
going to know the
certain
balance.
Things
the
into the
balance is not there.
ganache and into the icing as well. So that's
which is not cooked.
basically if you
So it stays in there.
quite a few of those, you could.
Let's just say I
potentially have
opened
some
the
fun.
container and I smelled like I was in an Irish pub.
My
It
wife is
smelled
Irish,
good.
yes.
It smelled
Yep.
good. It smelled good. But I was like, wow, I might need a ride home.
You're like, oh.
I might need a dedicated driver here, a DD. It was really
They're
good.
strong.
You
Yeah,
tasted the flavor. It was good.
Yeah, they're strong.
But I like that though because you're trying the flavor. You want those flavors to come out. They definitely did. It's strong.
Oh no, yeah, I tasted it for sure. I've had these before, so I knew
So-
what I'm getting into. But
Yeah,
we're
it
good.
was an interesting week. So let's backtrack across the week though.
Let's
do it.
Go.
So
Friday was your birthday.
yeah, but let's go way back to last Sunday.
Oh, we'll go back that
To
far.
last Sunday. Okay, go.
So last Sunday,
Was the Sunday before this Sunday? Yes.
correct. So last Sunday we were filming the final video for the jump, spin, and crescent kicks,
Yes.
and I was doing them in the little side combination I was putting together. And I don't know, man. That spin, I think I tore something in my shoulder. So, like, Sunday night is really bad. And then Monday was, like, the worst. And then Monday night, they're like, I took my gi top off after class. And Steve and Mary were both
Okay.
like, why is your shoulder hanging so low? And I was like, what? And I went in the mirror and I'm like, I have a whole hand like my left leg. Like, I'm like, that's weird. And when I came home, I was like, hey, Kelsey, is my arm hanging lower? And she's like, yeah, it looks a little weird.
And then I said it today,
Yeah, but it's much more mobile today than
but
it
it's still
was.
noticeable.
Maybe.
Oh no, not maybe. No, you can maybe it all you want, but the fact that I commented on it was because I saw it. Yeah. Not bad. It's not drastic, but you can see it a little bit.
So
It's pretty bad.
does it look that bad?
No.
I mean, I did that thing that everybody does because you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like,
You straighten it
is
out.
it?
You're like, I'm good.
Is it?
I'm
What's
good.
going on here? Like, was I always like this? Is this something like, you never know. Like, you have, like, nobody's perfectly symmetrical.
That's not true.
Supermodels, but
Done.
otherwise.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
AI generated images.
I'll tell you. Nicole went to a bridal shower today, and she said the wife and her sisters all look like Barbie dolls. They're just like right off the shelf. Very, very pretty girls. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to compete there. But,
all had different careers, too.
Well-
one was a race car driver.
Yeah.
One was a doctor.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny though.
One was
They're-
a dog walker.
I'll tell you what's super funny. They're really, really nice. The whole family is.
That
awesome.
is funny.
It's
Hilarious.
awesome.
No.
It is. Yeah, almost hilarious as the wrong color shoe. But anyway, so let's continue.
So, like, I called the guy that did this shoulder.
Okay.
And he's like, I'll get you in April 25th. I was like, oh,
Thanks for that quick turnaround.
all right. And then out of nowhere, unprompted, unasked for, Alex's wife, Sarah, pulled some strings and got me with his PA
Nice.
on Monday.
Thank you, Sarah.
So I was like, thanks.
Awesome.
So I'm going to get that looked at on Monday. And hopefully I'll get good news.
Well, at least you get to go in not on the day before our first Spartan race of the year.
I mean,
Yeah.
chances are it's tendonitis again.
No, I didn't have to. I had a frozen shoulder.
I have.
I think I have an
tendonitis.
impingement of some sort. Because one of the kickboxers also PT. He's like, it might be an impingement. Maybe a partial tear. But not fully torn, obviously. He doesn't think.
You can still like.
I mean, that's a tendonitis
Decently
anyway.
move it.
It's like a bunch of.
It was just reaching across your body. You said that
I
caused you a
still
lot of pain.
can't like scratch my armpit. That hurts.
How will you survive?
It's over.
That's how I do it. Next scratch.
The most you get is an
That's
elbow.
why I got married.
Yeah, seriously, that's what. Come on.
You know,
That's
it
what
is
takes.
harder though, like because Declan likes to be picked up, and I'm like, I have to like, I can still pick him up, but it's like weird. You have to like maneuver. I'm like, stinks.
It's funny. Nicole was leaving to go somewhere the other day, and I'm like, "Oh, I need you quick. I need your help. Don't go anywhere." And I just turn around. I'm like, "Scratch my back. I need it."
But it did lead us to like,
and they're like, 2 hands. Don't slack off.
it
That's
did.
what marriage life is all about.
It did lead us though to my because
what?
I couldn't do much with the shoulder.
Okay.
We work out every other Thursday night. We do a group workout.
Correct.
Like
Nick is not
sparring.
there.
Nick-
Join
And
us
you are
yet.
righty, right? You're not lefty. You're righty.
I'm righty,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
yeah, but we'll get into that. Also, you got to come on Thursday night so we can film some videos for crying out loud.
Yep.
He said, "Yep." Anyway, so we were supposed to work out this week. We because we had already switched it, so we didn't work out last week because Mike Shannon, who usually works out with us,
Yes.
had the old stomach.
He had some stomach problemos.
So we were like, okay.
That's rough.
And
Mike.
then I was already tired because that was Declan had croup that week. So I was like,
What a week.
I'm exhausted. I'm fine not training.
Let's take it as a sign. Yeah, recover.
Let's do it next week. And I do this thing to my shoulder, so I'm like, I can move, I can do things lightly, but whatever. Like I can't roll. Like I can't grapple. I'm not grappling. I can do movements. I just can't make contact really.
Okay.
And then I'm thinking as the day's going on, there's this guy that comes in. He's friends with one of our black belts, and he comes in every couple of months. He like pops up out of nowhere, and he's like, "Hey, I have this whole thing. I'm starting to. I invented this pressure sensor that does this, and then it gives you a whole thing." Now, so you have to, as a martial artist, anybody that's run a school knows, you get people that come in from time to time that just talk.
Yeah, you never know what's
And
really
you don't
coming.
know how to gauge it, so you're like, but he's super nice and he's super friendly and he's a fellow martial artist. So like,
And he seems to know what he's talking about too. So.
but again, in just quick over the counter conversations,
Yeah, you have to.
Oh, this was talking about back then.
You have to take everything for what it's worth.
and
in the
it's like,
beginning.
all right, I gotta
Initially,
go,
initially.
and you're like, okay.
All right. Well, let's actually tell him what we did instead of
So
beating
then
around
he
the bush.
came in. So he's been coming in like every couple of months. So the last time he came in, he let me know I'm going to be in town this week.
Nice.
I was like, okay. He's like, let me know if you want to. Let me know. Let me know. I was like, okay.
Do what though? He didn't actually say what though.
Use his pressure sensor to measure.
So yeah,
The sensor
so
he invented measures. So he has this company that analyzes technique. It's a research project for him that he built into a company. So not like the pressure sensors that they use today, that just measure like how hard you're hitting.
yeah,
This
like
thing-
don't think of what you see at the amusement park. Not one of those.
Well, not
things.
one of those. He
Yeah.
explained those. Those actually don't even measure how hard
Anything.
you're hitting. They
Yeah.
measure off the light. But like the ones you see at the UFC, like Joe Rogan's hitting, and not like that either.
Okay.
So this measures everything from like the entry of your punch, how hard you're hitting, how are you pushing your punch,
Or recoil.
are you
fast.
recoiling, how deep, how accurate, how consistent. So it's super interesting. So what we did was I texted him because we exchanged numbers the last time he stopped in. And I was like, hey, I know it's short notice. I know you're in town till Sunday. I got a group of guys maybe might be interested. You know, it had to be after classes at like 9. We're talking like 9:30 at night.
Okay.
He's like, okay.
I'll see you there.
But like I texted the guys like midday. I was like, is everybody cool with that? Because, you know, everybody's thinking we're going to do a workout. And I don't want to be like, oh, by the way, I have this science experiment we're going to run.
It was fun.
Everybody got into it. Everybody
It
got
was
into it.
so much fun.
We'll have to do it again.
This
'cause I
thing
wanna-
was.
I wanna try
Well,
it
this
as well.
sensor
We'll
was
get to that,
incredible.
too.
Just all the stuff that it measured. Like, it was not just measuring your power. It was measuring how long you were in contact with the sensor. It was measuring how much it compressed and stuff like that. Like, he told us the exact shape. You want the graph to go up, straight down. You want it to look almost like a triangle, a perfect
Right.
triangle at the bottom. That's what you want it to look like.
You could see, like, if
It
you
didn't
hit
always
him
look like
and
that for
it
us.
reverberated on him. He
Yeah.
could tell you what was him reverberating.
Versus
he
the thing.
holds the
He could
sensor.
tell you
Yeah.
everything.
He explained to you why you don't want it wall mounted. So he's a physicist.
Yeah.
He's a doctor. He has a
He's a
real job,
scientist,
but
yeah.
this is what he's a scientist by trade.
This is
So he would
his- yeah,
explain
project.
things very technically, but then he could break it down pretty solidly too.
He
through
broke down
martial
everything
arts.
for us. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was great.
layman's terms, thank goodness.
So it was everybody got really into it, and like I was surprised. 'Cause I was worried like some people might not be into it, but everybody loved it.
He had us weigh in before
Yeah, we had to weigh in
so
ahead of time.
he knew
Oh,
our
boy.
body weight, so he could compare to how many pounds of what was it, force?
Yeah,
You just wanted
How
to
many
see how
pounds
much
of
muscle
force
mass
compared
everybody
to
had.
our body weight. It was a good time. We started off doing it bare knuckle. We did bare knuckle first. He had
Yeah.
us each throw like 10 punches.
so you got to
on
imagine
it.
this is a homegrown sensor. Like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so he built this thing, and then
It's
he,
literally
he,
in a brick farmer's
it's in
market
a
bag.
shopping bag, like one of those shopping bags, but it's foam. So he's got this foam that he purposely selected this type of foam because it doesn't displace the same way as like. So it's not terribly soft in your
I
hand.
mean, the guy obviously looked into this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no,
I mean,
it's-
it
yeah,
is
it's
in a
well
shopping
researched.
bag, so it has that look of like, okay, well, what are we doing here?
That
But,
must have been your face as soon as you walked in and pulled the bag up. You're like, okay.
Well,
What did I just call everybody
so,
over for?
so see like that blue bag over there?
It's like that.
No, for the record, I had seen that before because he brought it last time.
Right.
So I would, again, that gives you the pause where you're like, it's a shopping bag.
But it was so cool.
Okay, but
He just
legitimately,
hadn't come up with a casing for it yet. That's all.
Hooks it up to like his computer, and then it looks like Mike Shannon was like, looks like you're hacking the Matrix. And
Yeah, it
really
literally
does. You're
is,
like,
yeah.
What is he
It's
looking at
happening
here?
right now.
But it was pretty
got a
cool.
bunch
All zeros and ones, huh?
It is pretty cool when he was going, and he could overlay the charts on top of each other. So you can see how you compare to everybody else, and like, tech. And the idea is you want to be consistent with it, so you're not doing that thing where you're like trying to just blast
it's
the bag
not-
as hard.
You
as
just
can.
hit it.
You're not
So
looking for.
he's
it
right
to
now in
this
the
big
research
swing.
stages, so he's collecting as much data as possible. So he's gone to several martial arts schools and several different disciplines. So he's had karate guys because he's a karate guy. He's a traditional karate guy. He's gone to boxers. He has a couple of pro boxers, and he has a couple amateur boxers.
Okay.
MMA guys, and he has a couple that fight professionally, and a couple that don't. And then karate schools and things like that, all across New York and New Jersey,
Okay.
because he lives in the city. So that's why I say he was down for the week, like for the week, visiting his parents. but
Cool.
He lives in the city.
Nice.
So we did pretty well. He said outside of the non-professionals,
Yeah, like if you take away the pro,
take away
fighters he's
pro
worked
people
with.
that are currently
'Cause we
fighting in
know
the ring.
they hit crazy hard.
We were like the best he had analyzed outside of like
He said we were on par or better than
Some
the
of the
top
professionals.
top
top.
non-pros.
top non-pros.
Nice.
Yeah, he's like, no, you guys are legit. Like, basically, like, you guys know what you're doing.
They say bottom
Like,
line,
legit.
we can punch.
Yay.
It was pretty cool. I also thought I thought I was fatter than I am. He called out
He
my
weighed us
number.
in. He weighed us in, and Dave went
We
first.
were taking guesses, and everybody's
Yeah,
waiting.
we were trying to guess it. Yeah, we were. We were trying
Oh,
to
no.
guess.
We were trying to guess it.
I mean, you're what, in the 150s?
I actually, I was at 146.
Nice.
But that was at the end of the night. But after not having eaten for hours, probably.
I was, what,
probably
130?
No, but usually you're heavier.
137.
Usually you're heavier at night.
No, but I was
not for us.
137.
Not
That's
for us.
heavy
We
for
haven't
you.
eaten it.
No,
no.
actually,
That's light for you?
when I
He
remember
used
when I
to
was
be
going
heavier.
through, remember I was going through all my breathing things and I wasn't doing as much cardio.
Yeah.
I was 145. at
Please
that
stop
point.
saying that like it's heavy, and I
For,
won't tell
no,
you
for
my weight.
me, that,
It's like, so me.
for me, that
I
was
wish
heavy.
I'm 160.
So like we went. It was me,
I'm surprisingly
the
thicker
two
than I need to be.
Steves. It was me, the two Steves. It was me, the two Steves, Mike Shannon, Rob Nicky, and then Dan Smith.
All of whom have been guests on this podcast.
Although now Andrew wants in the next one. Alex definitely. Alex is like, get me in
Yeah,
on this
me
next
too.
one.
Please don't do it the second week of April.
So,
I'll be around. Do
we're
it.
gonna do
He
it.
said late April,
We're
right?
gonna do it the end of April.
Okay, good.
We're gonna do it again the end of April. So we're all like we're gonna train for the next month and nothing but like. But it was cool. 'Cause we did a
Just throwing
round.
crosses over and over again.
So everybody threw a
They
like
have gigantic right arms.
we threw like 10 punches, 10, 15 punches each.
Yeah.
Bare knuckle,
Yep.
Did you switch sides or just use your strong hand?
just the right,
That's the right.
and then straight
all
rights.
bare knuckle, all out. Just on
And
the
then we
back.
switched to
gloves.
gloves, but we all use the same glove, like basically the same exact. glove.
So try to even it out
It
for
kind
everybody.
of. I think after that, it increased the amount
a little
of force.
bit, yeah.
Probably because your tension of hitting bare knuckles is gone, right? Because you're like, okay, I've got this.
It was,
pad.
yeah. I mean, it was
I don't
definitely
know.
cool. I mean, I was
Unconsciously.
hesitant. They made me go first. I was hesitant though to pull my shoulder back. So
You
when
should go first.
when you're throwing
That's
when
fine.
you know when you're throwing a
The
straight,
manager, you got it.
when you're throwing a straight right, you know,
Yeah.
a good cross, you are pulling the shoulder back.
Of course.
And I was
You're rotating.
I was super nervous to throw that shoulder back because that's the one that's injured. Back doesn't hurt that bad, so it's like I kind of let some of them go, but like I was definitely nervous to like really.
He was ready to get into it. He was nervous too because he was afraid that something was going to hurt.
Still, I hit
believe
267 pounds of force.
And again, this is not compared to what you guys watch on TV for the amusement park area. So
No, I hit with like 260.
where it's like someone's getting like 700.
So
and 600
I hit like
or whatever.
267.
But
pounds
that's
of
not
force,
measuring pounds
which
of
is
force.
Yeah.
which is essentially you're saying you really want to be about 1.5 your body weight, which is right where I was about at. Steve hits like a freight train. He's all muscle, and I said before he went up, I was like, oh, he's all muscle. And then Joe, his name is Joe. Mm-hmm. Joe was like, yeah, I could tell. You were in the high threes, almost fours, right?
Bare knuckle was 317, and then with the glove on, it was 360.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he was cracking. Mike Shannon came in at the top. Mike Shannon was like 500 pounds.
With
He
the
was at a
glove
pro
on, yeah.
level. Like he's hitting like a.
Yeah, but like I said, Mike is tall and equally like thick.
Yeah.
Right. He's
Yeah.
built.
I mean,
He was.
Steve-
he's ideal size.
He weighed in at 201.
201, yeah.
Oh, so okay, that's a, he
The
can
heaviest guy
actually-
was Steve at 263. Not Corsi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 263.
He hit Steve hit pretty hard though.
Steve's strong.
He did good.
Steve's strong.
Steve hit
Pretty
pretty good. We all hit pretty good. I mean,
Was
I hit,
Rob there too or no?
Rob was cracking. Yeah, Rob was cracking. I hit the lightest out of all of us, but I mean,
You're also the lightest
I
out
was
of all of
by
us.
far the lightest out of all. I was closest with Steve.
Dan Smith is 190, by
Yeah,
the way.
Dan Smith weighed in at
190
190.
Way to hide it, Dan.
I
Right?
know. He
Dan
hit-
doesn't look
so-
over 170.
So Dan hit.
Like
That
he
was
does.
Rob's weight.
Dan
There you
hit.
go.
177.
And they're the same height.
Just about.
Just about, yeah. Dan was very consistent in all shots. Like
No
Dude,
surprise.
you looked at his
almost
graph.
all the same.
It wasn't. He was like kind of in the middle when it came to pounds of force. He was kind of in the middle, but every single one was like the same height.
Yeah,
His
it was very,
consistency.
very
And that
consistent.
triangle shape I was telling you about.
He had it.
at the bottom. Most of them were
In a good way.
Exact.
That's good.
So we talked about
Yep.
doing this again at the end of April.
Nice, Dan.
We're gonna do it again at the end of April. So we're gonna train and see like everybody's using their own modality though. So like
Yep.
Rob's like I'm lifting weights and then like we're all gonna do our own thing and then see like me I'm just gonna be very technical. My whole training thing is I'm gonna be very technical. I'm gonna keep refining the technique of the cross.
Nice.
And then
I'm gonna learn how to hack the system.
1,000 pounds of force.
this is not
So,
the Kobayashi Maru.
We're
Who
talking.
is this man?
We're talking about technical. Done.
Tech. Yeah.
Heavy on the tech.
Dan was
It was-
really loving the numbers part of it.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody got really into it. Mike Shannon got into it. Dan loves numbers, so he was like really into it.
The best
Rob,
part-
I didn't know Rob had a love of physics, so Rob was like right in there, and he had some good suggestions.
It makes sense with Rob's background in construction and electrical.
He
It
got
makes
super
sense.
into it. It was like he was bouncing ideas off of Joe, and Joe was like, "Ah, it's a good idea. Let's."
Let's try it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It was a good
really
time.
neat.
I have to be in on the next one. Please let
Yeah,
me know ahead
yeah.
of time so I can move
So
my
Thursday
schedule.
night
Yeah.
at 9:00. So he'll come in for that, but not a video filming session. See how it is.
We literally talked about the video filming during the week for the first time last week.
See
So
how it
it's
is.
fine.
No, we
we'll
talked
do it.
about it.
Yeah, it was good though. It
Love
was definitely worth your. And it was funny though because
The
like
trip.
it was funny hearing who's sore, like what
I'm
areas
pretty
are
sore. Where I was pretty sore.
Vince
Like
yesterday.
your
Kelly-
hand?
No, it was more so like my back and my lat that I was feeling it in.
How hard were you trying to punch?
Pretty hard.
As hard as I
you were
possibly
trying to
could.
punch as hard as you possibly could. So the
It
idea
was
was
not a swing though. It was
the
straight
idea
line
was to
cross
punch as hard as you possibly could with correct
Form.
form.
Got it.
He
but-
wanted you to keep it consistent to how you normally throw.
But
your
it was
moves.
super interesting too because he also, again, he was talking about the variables between different styles. So he's like, usually we see this in karate fighters, usually we see it with boxers, usually we see it with this. So
He'll just say that the graph will look like this, like
and he would demonstrate like this is at the sound.
he would show how it looked. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but that was the idea. So it was interesting seeing like who saw with what. Like I wasn't really sore at all.
Well, then again, you also said that you were kind of hesitant to really
I
go
was
all out.
definitely hesitant
because
to go all
You
out.
may not have been
your
pushing.
shoulder
The only thing that was
was,
a
yeah.
little sore was maybe when I made a
Your
when I
wrist?
clenched my
You
fist, but
tense
even
your
that's
fist.
not. It wasn't that so. I was very, very careful because I went first, and because I've hit things bare knuckle before, so I was very careful to
On the
do
knuckle, yeah.
that. So I made sure every shot I was lining up.
For those
and
listening,
using
right?
my
Bring
first
your
two
first
knuckles.
two knuckles. Yep.
So like, it was the first I did. So my first shot was a little bit lighter, but I was like particularly making sure I was trying to do that.
One thing that I discovered is that if you look at my fist, you see how it kind of comes out on an angle here.
Mm-hmm.
So on my first one, I felt it hit here first, and I was like, "Oh!" So I'm trying
tilt a
to
little?
keep it flat, but.
Well, yeah, that's
but
what-
then
but everybody-
I felt like I
so-
was bending my wrist like
Yeah,
this.
everybody.
So-
the,
so-
the hand. the
So
fingers come
everybody's
out of
hand
it.
does that,
Yeah.
and then you have to arc and
Yeah,
turn.
that-
So
yeah.
the karate style, particularly, we line up like that. So you
Yes.
actually torque a little bit. You know,
So if you're
stacking-
not used to hitting like
so
that,
you
you're gonna
stack,
get sore.
you
from that,
stack
yeah.
your. I can't do this with the microphone.
Your
but
first two knuckles.
You stack your first two knuckles. You line your wrist up, right? So like this, your wrist isn't lined up, right? So if you hit, you have that breaking point. So when you're here, you're stacking, and this was explained to me a couple times by a couple different people. So you're stacking behind,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're less prone to do that when you have a boxing glove on. And
That's
you
what we
have wrist
tried
wraps,
next. Yeah, we tried that afterwards.
because you have wrist wraps. You're basically casting your hand,
Yep.
so you're less worried about any type of shift within your hand. So there's a little bit more reckless abandon, so to speak.
Well, that's what we were saying. You're a little more
Um,
confident in avoiding injury and allowing that. extra
So
support,
I
'cause
was
you're gonna
very
throw.
careful with that when we were going bare knuckle. So I
Yeah.
think that's why my hand wasn't quite as sore, because I was really spent like that was my main thing I was thinking about was like knuckles.
Keep
point,
the wrist
knuckles
aligned.
point,
Yeah.
That
knuckles
sounds
point.
like a lot of fun. I love it.
And Vinatelli's wrist is super sore because when we put the boxing glove on,
But don't forget, he also just had a procedure.
when we
about
put the
6 months ago.
boxing glove on, he rolled it down like he hit and it rolled.
Oh,
Yeah. So his wrist is probably pretty sore from something.
But
like
one
that.
analytic that was cool was like even when we made mistakes, because everybody made a couple of mistakes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you guys are still hitting. Like you can see where you corrected on the chart. He's like, you can see you naturally correct here. So even if you were missing dead on, the center's in the center, so you have to try and hit it dead. Even if you were slipping off, we were
Like,
still hitting with very good force.
Like for example,
Nice.
we discovered that I levitate apparently.
He slides back on impact on his feet, and he's almost off the ground.
But you see, I still think that was partially because he had Vinatelli because he was the heaviest. He had Vinatelli hold the
For the
sensor
final round.
for the final round, just to show us how that makes it
differs.
different.
impacts it. Yep.
Yeah, the because he was about the same size as me and Dave, so he had Vinatelli, the biggest one of us, do it so that we could see what happens when you're hitting a heavier object and how that increases the force and stuff like that. So I still think that you could see he took a video of it. You could see my feet kind of going like.
So a couple of
sliding
them he
back a
did
little
slow
bit.
motion videos on too.
That's cool.
So that was neat. But like everything's in the sensor. Like you see everything on the chart. It was super. It was cool. It was definitely cool. I can't wait to do it again at the end of April. Like he made me a
It's
believer.
going to be a lot of fun.
That's really cool.
I hope his company takes off. Like I hope.
I hope it does too. It could be really beneficial to pro fighters.
Yeah,
It really could.
100%.
If you get like you literally have data to go off of about how your technique needs improvement instead
And
of
that-
just
And
having
it's
a
all
coach
it's the
looking
little
at you.
things that are
Well,
the game changers.
I was having that conversation with Martin, one of our private students. He's like, "Oh, did he film it? Did he film it? Did he film it?" And like, I believe in filming so you can analyze technique, but like, it's still only as good as your human eye. So like, when you're analyzing technique, you're still like, okay, well, he's flaring his elbow, or he's dropping his elbow, or he's doing this, or he's doing that.
Yeah, that was always
But
the
there's
thing.
no data.
No, he always looked at the chart, at the graph first, and he said, "Okay, this is what this means. Let's find that in the video."
Yeah.
And then we went to the video and found
Right.
it. So we were looking for a certain mistake, and then we would see it. Like for example, he said like when we commented on it was my front foot that is sliding a little bit. So then they pulled it up in the video, and they're like, "Wait a minute, like that's both your feet. Wait a minute." Look, they're almost off the floor. It's like,
I'm
"You're
confused. Are you
levitating."
jumping backwards? Or?
No, I wasn't jumping.
On the moment of impact, his body's scooting back.
Yeah. Once
Also-
again, I put that with the fact that I'm hitting a Vinatelli. So, and once again, he said that I was hitting with 360
Yeah,
pounds
or
of
whatever,
force.
yep.
So now, with Vinatelli being much bigger than I am, that force is going to kind of
Yeah, 'cause you're meeting an object.
to
But
me.
even
Yeah.
like an example.
That's
Dan,
what was making me slide back,
we
but I
did
was
jazz.
levitating.
We did do jazz. We did a round of jazz because
You're
Rob
magical.
suggested
We're gonna call you
the jab.
Dallasine.
So we did a
That-
round of jabs because Rob suggested jabs.
let's try
because
something
we all
different,
throw
yeah.
our jabs a little bit differently.
Very, yeah, I think so.
Some people flick. So Rob was interested in that, and Joe was
Dan's
like, "Let's
jab.
do it." So, but Dan does this
Dan's
thing.
jab, yeah.
So they were looking at his jab, and he found something in the data. He goes, "Okay, let's look at that." The way Dan moves his hip when he throws his jab,
He
kind
would
of brings
kind
his
of
hip
bring
back.
his hip
His hip
back.
comes back and he comes forward. Like,
Yeah.
it was super interesting. It's like very effective. And he's like, and you would use that, and he would break down why that's effective and what you would use it for. And like, he's like, very clever, very good. But like, it's stuff that you're doing maybe without knowing. But I like it because you're not just looking at like, yes, you can play in slow motion, yeah, and you can analyze your technique, but that's still only as good as the person that's analyzing the technique.
Exactly.
And then
At least it gives you a groundwork for everybody, and then you can build off of it, which is nice.
yeah, it was definitely worth your
And what's cool is, so what I'm going to miss out on, but you guys won't, is you can now compare your second experience.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah, we can
versus
start looking
so
at
you
what-
guys have a baseline where
Yeah.
us coming in for the first time at the end of April won't have a baseline yet. It's still gonna be super fun, but I'm saying it'll be cool to see. Okay, now that I kind of know what I'm getting into, does knowing it affect my performance now?
The time flew by. Like we started at what, like 9:15, 9:30
Yeah,
ish.
we had to
didn't get done
actually
till
stop
11
at
o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Wow.
We were still going, and we're like, I gotta get home, man. I got like
Listen, when you're hitting things with a bunch of
we
guys,
threw over 200
it.
punches that night.
Yeah.
that's it. That's awesome. That is awesome.
But I mean, and again, when do you like in the type of training we do? We're usually sparring or hitting like focus mitts. You're not throwing
All out.
all out over.
You
and
can't. Your body's not
over
taking it,
and
yeah.
over, and we were throwing all out
That
over
day, yeah.
and over.
Well, that's why you had guys coming back feeling sore, because you're letting it loose at full
Yeah.
blast, right? To see what that result is.
It was cool though. It was
That
it
is
was a good
cool.
experience.
I
So I'm
like
looking
it.
forward to doing it again. Maybe even doing one in the croc and seeing how that affects my power.
If it goes
Man,
up,
can you imagine if it quadruples?
yeah, okay. It's every
Based on what
fight he's
croc
wearing
I wear?
Crocs.
All right, I'm gonna try it now in this pair.
Oh my god,
Well,
that'd be
sport
funny.
mode. Now let's put it in sport mode and see what happens.
Yeah, see if my confidence in the secureness of my Croc allows me to punch even harder. That is pretty funny.
So yeah, shout out to Joe and Natalie. Very
Awesome.
cool.
Thank you for letting them participate. Can't wait to participate.
He's
next
working
time.
on putting all the data into a Google Drive, a shared Google Drive for us.
He emailed us something. I forgot.
Right,
what
but
it
he said at the bottom of the email, he just emailed us like a little survey to fill out, which I'm still gonna do.
Oh, a survey,
Rob
that's
did
right.
it already.
He did? Okay, we got
I'm gonna fill it out for him. But then he said that he's working on getting all the data including the videos into a shared Google Drive
Cool.
for everybody.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to see. I'd love to look at me levitating again.
Yeah, it was neat. It was neat. I'm just happy to know that like even as a little guy, I'm cracking hard enough where I can hurt somebody.
You could
if
do
I-
damage. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I'll tell you, it's funny because I took a same concept, different sport. I took a golf lesson that my father-in-law years ago bought for me. He works at a hotel in southern Jersey that hosts the women's PGA Tour, right? And they had a couple different golf professionals there that were running, golf pros that were running seminars. But the way this one went is you step into basically a digital box, and they have a video of you plus a measurement scan of you. So as you're swinging, it is literally measuring the angle of your swing, your grip strength.
Those are
You have to
cool.
use it. And it was wild because he says, okay, do this, do that. Historically, this is what it does to the swing based on the data. And I did it, and you see exactly that happen. It's just wild because he used baseline on people that were similar to me in size and experience and whatever. And he says, okay, I've about 100 people within that range. This is kind of what happens. Let's see what you do. And, whatever I did, he was able to tweak it instantly on that. And he was showing me the video, and it was predicting my angle, predicting my turn, predicting the ball curve. And it was exactly what it was. I was like, yikes. In a good, but it really quickly, with minor adjustments, improved my game.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really quick. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So seeing that in the in this context, I'm excited to try it out. It's
It was
gonna be
also
so much
interesting
fun.
with the,
So
with the
much
jab.
fun.
It was also interesting because we would approach from different angles, but get very similar results. And
Yes.
because we're so used to throwing our jab, it's like the main punch.
Well, we all
throw.
train together, too.
And the way we move when we're sparring is. It was good. It was good. I can't wait to do it again. I said I'm gonna go train that cross like a mother though. I want to see if I can get it like over like maybe double my body weight would be nice.
Okay,
That'd be pretty cool.
You
that would
double
be
your
cool.
body weight. No, close.
Yeah,
Close.
yeah, right there.
360?
What are you
pretty
again?
close.
140.
146.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty close.
146 times.
it'd
I
be
can't do
280. He
math
was
in my
over.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
you
were
would be over.
Oh,
You
so
were
I'm
over.
over it then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's awesome. That's
I was
really cool.
137. I hit like 267.
So you were right there, like just there.
Man,
Yeah. So you're right at double.
that was 267, but then my highest one was with the glove on.
Mike Shannon's goal is to crack 500. He got like 499.
Oh, he wasn't out
No, I thought he
500.
did crack 500.
He didn't. He got 499. I remember, yeah.
499.
He got like 499, and he's like, I must crack 500.
Mike, be better. Come on.
Or did he crack
No,
500?
that's
I
cool.
thought he cracked 500.
Maybe
in
with the
final
glove
round.
on.
I
Maybe
thought
with
he
the glove
did.
on.
I'm pretty sure he cracked 500.
He because he didn't get close to 500 with bare knuckle. It was over 400, but it wasn't close to
No,
500 with
I'm
bare knuckle.
almost-
Let's play it
Glove.
safe. Mike, 600.
No,
Let's go.
I'm almost certain he cracked
Oh wait,
500.
I think that is what he
He
said.
did crack
instead.
500.
I have to get to 600. I think that's what he said. I think
because he
did
wanted to
crack
get over to
500.
2,000 and before he did the
Oh, that's
conversion.
right. You know what I think
and
it was?
He did.
He said that right before the last round that we did.
Yeah, he got. He,
And then
he,
on
he
like
cracked
one of
500.
the strikes, just one of them in that last round, he managed to
He cracked
get
500.
over.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So yeah, okay.
He
Never
hits,
mind.
he hits like a freight train. You don't want to get
That's
hit by
cool.
No, he sent us a text afterwards describing what the equivalent would have been. Could you pull it up? I forgot exactly what it was. It was
Mike
was funny.
sent it?
Mike sent a text saying, "So getting hit by 500 pounds of force is the equivalent of getting hit with," and then he listed off. I forget exactly what it was. It was
Right.
funny
Yeah.
though. It made me laugh. It was in the group text.
No, it was in the.
Was
I
it-
don't have
The
that
odor
other
of
group text,
asparagus.
'cause I made the new group text.
Oh,
I
you
don't have that
deleted it?
one.
Oh, it's on my phone then, but I can't. We're filming. I'll have to show you
But yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, it hits hard.
We'll have to have Mike back on the podcast, and he can tell us what we have.
We've been
back
talking
on.
about that. He's
We have
due.
been.
He's due.
Yeah, he is due.
Him
Wait,
and the
wait.
missus and
No, I
Emma
do
too.
have it.
Oh, he does have it. Never mind.
According to Google, a 500-pound punch is equivalent to getting hit by a large, full-size refrigerator or a small car. And they sent a bunch of crying, laughing emoji.
Small. Let's say small car because I don't know how a small refrigerator would hit you. Is it falling on you? Is it sliding into you? Are you punching?
Full size
it?
refrigerator
Yeah, but doing what?
hitting you.
Refrigerators don't hit you. They're refrigerators.
They can get thrown at you.
Okay, depends on who's throwing it. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot missing in that one. I'll take the small car. The small car can just drive into you. But a refrigerator, are they dropping it off a building? Are they swinging it on a rope? How is it hitting you?
I think you're
Are they-
overthinking this.
I'm not
by a
doing
lot.
it. No, I'm on purpose, yes. Are they putting it on wheels and just shoving it at you?
Bottom line.
Are you at the
Mike
bottom of a
Shannon hits
staircase
like a
and they throw it?
refrigerator.
Bottom line, his new nickname is the refrigerator.
So I'm going to call you small car. SC, small car.
We could call it small car, too. That's pretty funny.
That's
name.
kind of
What's
funny.
that, small car?
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
it. Mike, the
Machina
small
petite.
car Shannon. It rolls off the tongue.
It does. It does.
I'm
But
not gonna say anything to you. Just next time I see him, I'll be
refrigerator
like,
to me sounds like a football player.
yeah, because it was a refrigerator.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The next time I see him, I'm not gonna say anything to him. Just, what's up, small car? See what he says.
And understand I'm complimenting you. Have a good day.
Yeah, man.
I like it. All right. Well, that was some really cool stuff.
Maybe I'm a tiny fridge. They call me tiny fridge.
They call you
Mighty Croc.
What?
Mighty
no,
Croc.
you could be mini fridge. Mini fridge. You know they keep the soda cans in. We'll call you mini fridge. Mini fridge and small car. I like it.
Imagine that my Mike's like, I hit with this amount of force. I hit with this amount of force.
Yeah, you just get one of those little ones. You put 2 soda cans in on top of the counter. Yeah, that's all right. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's cool though. I'll do
Really
it again.
cool.
I
That
can't wait
sounds
to do it
awesome.
again. I gotta go hit some trees new.
Exactly.
Build up.
At least put the pad on it. That's it.
I do. I have an old school monkey war in the back.
Yeah. Good luck.
I just gotta post it up.
3
on
punches, your knuckles are broken. Your
Oh
shoulders,
yeah,
your shoulders done.
So the falsity of the
Yeah,
monkey
you can't
bar
lay
is
into
that people think you blast that thing. You don't. It's just for.
It's almost like the
conditioning.
concept of hitting sand in a bucket.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
You're just trying to rough up your
It's
skin.
light conditioning, the bone and skin. Just roughing it up a little bit.
I'll be honest. I was when I was younger, I was not as cautious as I am now, and I used to just do bare knuckle push-ups on the cement outside and just try to
I've done that.
cut them up. And then I lived by the beach, so I would just sit there and talking to my friends and for like 40 minutes or whatever. My knuckles are very different back then. Same thing with my feet. You walk barefoot all the time everywhere, and you get the calluses, and you don't even feel
Without
your
feet, without
anymore.
feet, we feel nothing.
What they
Yeah,
don't tell
could-
you though.
you can cut chunks of it off.
What they don't tell you though is all that training may lead to arthritis down the
Oh
line.
no, not May. 100% could. Yes. Well, we didn't do board breaking. My old instructor was a world record breaker for board breaking. Wouldn't let us break any boards.
Yeah.
He said, "What if you want to be an artist, a doctor, right, an engineer? You need those fine motor skills.
Well-
You're not breaking at that level,
Well-
and getting there because you're gonna." No matter how good you are, you're gonna start
so,
building arthritis and
Master Paul trained
chain
under
hands.
Professor Wally J.
Yes, I remember
So
that.
they would do tons, Master Paul say, tons of like jogging, with opening and closing your hands.
Oh,
and
smart.
then doing those rotations because that's every wrist lock.
Yeah.
But those constant repetitive motions, while they do strengthen forearms and
Yeah.
things like that, lead to carpal tunnel.
There's
So-
no.
And
So-
guess what he
Listen.
got?
So Master Paul's had carpal tunnel surgery, but it's that repetitive motion, especially with nothing in your hand. You're just
Yeah.
And you don't think that's doing anything until it is. Listen, if you're going to train in the martial arts, you're going to have something somewhere. It's going to get you. In a good way, but it's going to happen. That's any sport.
well.
though.
If you're gonna
That's
do
some
any,
of us,
if you're
it's
gonna do,
shoulders.
if you're gonna do any,
Some of us, it's
you
that
know, believe it
shoulder.
or not, though, shoulders are common in the martial arts.
Is my shoulder down?
Yeah.
Can you
Is
guys
my
tell?
shoulder like
Shoulders
longer?
and knees are common in the martial
Yeah.
arts.
And I got both, so it's fine.
So I also own a shoulder and a knee.
Do you?
There's
I'm
2 knees.
Super
There's
proud of
some
you.
shoulders.
Let me see if my stuff. Nope, didn't crack. That's weird. It usually does. Nope, nothing now. Way to not put on the show, guys. Oh, there it is. And now it did it. See? Come on. Now that I'm loud, now you can't hear it. But
Nobody
anyway.
heard it.
No one. 0 people. I barely heard it. I get it. But it happened. And he's snap.
All
Make
right.
a little snapping sound. Good?
Very good. Yeah.
I like it. That was good. Yeah. Yours, nothing. Your knees are good?
My knees crack all the time, but I do.
But you're a
try-
very avid runner, so I feel like that helps.
So people always say running is so bad for your knees.
I think it's the
But every
opposite.
study that they've done
The opposite.
actually shows the opposite.
Yeah.
You're everything gets stronger. In
So,
your,
my-
like David Goggins, you know who David
Yeah, yeah,
Goggins
yeah,
is?
yeah.
His meniscus was so thick from how much he runs that they literally had to get special scissors to cut it when he was having surgery. Like 'cause it was just so built
So
up.
strong. See, for me, when that snapping I was just telling you about, if I
follow it.
bike or run, it doesn't. That works through and it won't snap.
How was it?
What happened?
I don't know. I just got to. Sean Marker started following you from your ad.
What?
That was
okay.
the.
Oh no,
Instagram
it's
ad?
Paul Prendergast Karate.
That's also good.
Also good, but not kicking in Crocs.
Not kicking.
But awesome. How'd that go, by the way? Did you get anything off of it?
Oh, it didn't do too bad. Honestly, TikToks has been the best. We're talking about for the people
Boosts.
listening. We're talking about boosting posts. So,
Yeah.
yes, spending money and boosting posts. TikToks got us more views in a shorter time period than Instagram.
I just feel like more people are
Most of
active
that.
on TikTok these days, unfortunately.
Nowadays, it's probably pretty close. That'd be an interesting metric to look up, actually.
YouTube Shorts are on the rise, though,
YouTube
too, I've
Shorts is
heard.
big on the rise, especially for kids,
Yeah.
because parents are like, no TikTok, but
Yeah.
the kids still want that type of content. So YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, the instance,
Yeah,
30 seconds or less.
Why do you think that's what we post the most of?
You know, all those parenting, like, Instagrams and things like that, where they do those little shorts. So, as a parent of a very young child, you get all that stuff now. And all of them are like, what are they called? Low activity shows or low.
Doom
So-
scrolling. That's what they call
So
it.
well, that's
pretty
doom
good.
scroll, but like when you watch, they talk about shows for kids. It's all about low energy, low activity shows. So like Bluey's an example, and they list off a couple of shows. So not the frantic, fast.
Well, let me tell you, it's better. That even like the old school Sesame Street.
Well, they
and
did-
all,
they did the
because
old
you're not
school
getting
study.
the flashing, like again, the seizure effect of
Well, it's not
in your
even that.
face.
So they did the study with the kids watching the stuff we grew up with, where it was a little bit slower,
Yes.
a little bit more drawn out in the
Yeah.
storyline, and it calmed them a little bit more. Like you ever watch Teen Titans Go?
It's a
That's the
disaster.
best example I have.
Yeah, like the
'Cause
how they killed Thundercats.
Oh yeah, they did it with Thundercats too.
See, we had shows like
There's
that,
a
but they
bunch
weren't
of
for
different
kids. It was
shows.
called Ren and Stimpy, but it wasn't for kids.
Right, but like it's that concept. It's like you're watching ADHD.
It's horrible.
It's crazy.
Well,
yeah.
that's the worst. That's the worst example. It's the best example, but the worst show.
Teen Titans.
Oh,
And you
my
know,
God.
the sin is Teen Titans had a really good show before they
The
did that
actual
nonsense.
Teen Titans cartoon was great.
What a good cartoon as it was.
I don't know why they did the Teen Titans Go thing,
Oh,
and I
gosh,
can't
so
imagine
Why?
it's
It's
getting
because
better
they were
hits.
They were marketing towards an even younger audience.
No, I understand, but that's what you want. As Dave is saying, that's not better for a younger audience.
No. I mean, it's
Better?
entertaining.
No, makes
for them,
them
but
money. Yeah, and it kept them
That's like
entertained.
SpongeBob's
Yeah.
kind of along those lines too. SpongeBob is a little bit frantic.
Close. I mean,
He is a little close. No, he's close.
There are times. I mean,
He's
a
not
little-
as bad as Teen Titan Go.
No.
Because Teen
No.
Titans Go is
No.
blatant with it, but he
Yeah.
has his moments.
like SpongeBob was pretty like there were moments where it was like.
But if you compare that
there
to
were
like,
moments where it was pretty low key.
G.I. Joe,
but
Transformers.
right, or even like if you go a little bit more modern, like Doug.
Doug, yep. Yeah. What was the one?
Doug, Rugrats.
Rugrats.
Rugrats was
Sorry,
not frantic.
Rugrats.
It had a storyline that you had to
Yeah.
follow, maybe episodic and like
Sometimes.
The Muppet Babies from when
Muppet
I was
Babies.
younger. But I'm trying to think.
that has a
of you
dark
guys.
history. The Muppet Babies. You should look into that.
I want to say
There's
I
a
did
great
once and I
YouTube video
forgot,
all
but I
about
want
it,
to say
yeah.
I did once. Well, it's yeah. You okay? Good.
Steve's checking our time. Where we at, sir? 1 hour? All right. Comfort mode.
Comfort mode.
Comfort mode. Did we play a video game maybe after this?
Yeah, I want to try that out.
So you people know how we said 1,000 subscribers for Gaming and Crocs.
Close enough.
I kind of feel like we really just want a game. We really do. Like
I mean, not that we have to
So-
record everything that we do.
you don't have to record everything.
Yes,
that
we
you
do.
Maybe.
Go.
Well, there was. We didn't get the chance to talk about this on the podcast. Maybe we'll do it next episode. We'll talk about what you saw in Nintendo Direct.
Oh.
This Nintendo Direct. Well, we'll save it for next episode. It
But
involves
just
video
happened,
games.
So we
It
should
did just
talk
happen.
about
No,
it.
no, no, no,
You
no,
want
no,
to spend
no,
5
no,
minutes
no,
talking
no.
about it?
There's a Marvel game, side-scrolling fighter,
We'll talk more about it
Cosmic
next week.
Invasion. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it next week. Yeah.
I love that those games are coming back too. Oh my
the
god!
side-
Side
Scrollers.
scrollers.
Well, no, 'cause
couch
that-
co-op.
those side-scrolling
scrollers.
beat 'em ups were my favorite game when I was a kid.
They're a lot of fun.
My favorite genre.
What's your favorite
They're a
one?
lot of fun.
What do you think?
Going back when I was a kid, it was probably Streets
Simpsons.
of Rage. Oh no, Simpsons was in the arcade though, because you
It
couldn't.
counts.
You couldn't do. I
didn't
actually
say
just
where.
tried to. I actually just tried to haggle with my wife. I don't know where we would put it, but you know those arcade one-up machines. They have the Simpsons.
Well, if you go to the Silver Ball in Asbury, you can play the Simpsons game
No, but to
all
have it
day
in my
for
house, But
just
to have it
but
in my house
would be crazy.
Did you ever play the Simpsons game?
Now you want the full pinball? Is that what that is? The one up? It's the full pinball machine?
No, it's a full arcade machine.
Yeah, I like the stand up.
Yeah,
thing.
it's not pinball. He's
No,
so old.
I said pinball. I'm sorry, I meant arcade machine.
no,
No, well, because Silver Ball I was thinking Silver Ball is a pinball arcade.
no.
Pinball's great.
Yeah, it's so
should
arcade
play
one-ups.
pinball.
I don't know if you ever seen arcade one-ups. So they're not the actual arcade machine.
Yeah, it's
from
the
back in
video
day,
game
but
put
they make
into a
you-
model for
They
it.
make you a model cabinet of it that's not quite the same, scaled down a little bit. It's still
Okay.
big, but it's not quite the same. And then it's run off an emulator.
Plenty of room.
It's run off an
Where's my
emulator.
mouse?
So my cousin has one. What made me think of it was we went to my cousin Carmela, little baby Carmela. She's not baby anymore. She's like 6, 7. Her birthday's also in March. So
Nice.
last Sunday, we went after I blew my shoulder out. We went to a little birthday thing at her place, at their house. And they have one of those bi-level, like split-level houses.
Nice.
So the bottom's all done up real nice, like for everybody, like a hangout.
Yeah, it's like a family room,
And they're
yeah.
very sports-oriented people. So he's got jerseys on the wall, and he's got in the corner he has an arcade one-up machine for the golf game, with the little rolly ball.
Yeah.
So he's
that's
got
cool.
that. And I was like, arcade one-up. I said, I wonder if they have The Simpsons. And I Googled it real fast. Like, oh my God, they do. Because it was The Simpsons, it was the Turtles, it was X-Men.
All great games.
And as the arcade ones. So if you're Streets of Rage was just on your couch.
The only challenge with it is broken controllers.
The
sir.
Simpsons never came out on a home console.
On those arcades, people go nuts.
The Simpsons, that beat 'em up fighter, never came out on a home console.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had other
Interesting.
Simpsons games, but that particular beat up one never came out on the home console. I used to play at the roller ring.
Yeah. It's
Anytime
always in
they
the
had
roller ring.
Oh my God,
It was that in Street Fighter at every roller ring ever.
we're old.
All right, well,
So roller rink is where people roller skate.
We're
No, they're
gonna-
back now.
we're
No,
gonna-
my
we're gonna-
nephew is in the roller ring all the time.
Yeah,
Loves
yeah,
it.
no,
He
they're
takes
back
lessons
now,
and
yeah.
everything. Yeah.
we're gonna go game.
We should call this Kickin' and Tangents.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
go game.
a
Tangents and Crocs.
These
That's
two.
a
These two
great
go on
name.
tangents.
Tangents and Crocs.
These two go
Love
on
it. Just
tangents.
random.
I'm still here.
Random.
You know,
If
because
you
we
have
have
not
a lot of
already-
life experience, so we tangent off into a lot
If
of
you
good.
have not
Yes.
already, we want a game, man. If you have not already,
Steve's getting upset
cranky.
now.
I want a
Steve's getting
game.
cranky.
I want a game.
I know. That's your generation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was generation.
It's like I can stop talking
And
to
younger.
this game.
Yeah. If you haven't already,
talking to
please make
people
sure you
stinks,
follow
yeah.
us
I know.
on Instagram. and
Why are
on
we still
TikTok
talking?
At Kickin' and Crocs.
That is text you guys?
Crocs. Crocs.
The best.
Wow.
No, you said it. You skipped over his part.
You did do CROCS.
Yeah, you went
That's
right
usually
into
my
my
part.
part.
Oh, I usually just say Crocs.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I spelled out the whole
See,
thing.
you
And
could
then
have
he
said
tried
Crocs
to, and then he
instead.
tried to pawn it off on him.
Yeah.
You could have
Wow.
I did my
How
job,
about for this,
Good
guys?
job.
How about this? Instead, you could say Crocs this time. Go
No,
ahead.
no, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Hi, good. Nice to meet you. I'm
I'm
Steve.
good.
All right, sounds good.
I know where I'm not wanted.
He's trying to blame it on me.
I know, I saw
I'm
it.
right on point, sir.
Subscribe to us on
Eh?
YouTube to watch the video versions of this
Eh?
podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube to watch the video versions of this podcast and potentially gaming videos coming soon to a YouTube near you.
Okay.
Comment below if you have any opinions on any of the topics that we talked about today. And if you're listening on audio only,
You can
then
have his
you
part.
should
'Cause
give
he
us.
took your part.
Only 5 stars. There
That's
is no
horrible.
more than 5 stars.
In the comment section, enter more stars. Go.
Star emoji.
That's it. Star emoji. Star emoji.
Adding these to my review that I gave
If you,
before.
if you watch our episodes that don't get a lot of hits, which are Zoom related, I have lots of stars there.
Plenty of stars.
Plenty of stars.
All right.
Stars.
It's more than 5.
Until next time, I've been Steve.
Did we introduce ourselves at the start of
No.
this episode?
Nope.
I don't think we did either.
We did not.
Always Dave.
Still Nick.
If you ain't crocking, you ain't rocking.
Buonanotte a tutti.
A tutti fresca.
I'll say his line. We love you from the bottom of our Crocs, and you stay kicking, internet.
A
Game
tutti
time.
Penta.
What about my pancreas? What is it?
Shining with interesting people while styling while we run. It's Kickin' in Crocs. We're kicking in Crocs.